when you look at a gym and you piss your pants and faint.
Because women are inherently seen as taking up more space than men.
All right.
I love how immediately you came up against this guy.
We're live. We're live. Hello. Hi,
Welcome,
everybody.
everyone,
gang.
to the
Hey.
PARLIAMOONT, where today we are going to be sharing our hottest takes about theme parks.
was
And
a,
Riley, you had something you wanted to start us off with.
Well,
Or
first off,
actually-
this is a raffle win, right? Like we
Yeah.
first want to call that out. We raffled this off at the Moon Carnival, and somebody won. I don't have it
It was Electric Gaunt, right?
was Electric Gaunt, the one and only, and they have they suggested a myriad of things, and we picked on this, and boom, here we are. So thank
Picked
you
on
for
it,
that.
like we said it was a bad idea and you shouldn't have sent it. That type of picking on.
Yeah. We all got in a circle and we pointed.
We picked it last for dodgeball.
but yes,
Also,
That-
legit, like, we looked at all of the options that they sent, and they were all very good. I think we're going to end up doing a couple other ones later.
Yeah, we have a bunch on our list now.
so thank you for that. But what I wanted to bring up here, the thing that I wanted to kind of bring to the table is some questions, because we have fewer presentations today because this is our first joint presentation that will happen. And so I wanted to ask each of you, with some of this extra time, what is your relationship with theme parks? Like, what's the do you
first.
like them? Go to them? Are you what's the first one you been at? Do you think fondly, or are they just monuments to disgrace?
The town I grew up in had a theme park in it,
Wow.
Nice.
so I knew a lot of people who worked at theme parks. I have been to said theme park several times. I went to Disney World on my honeymoon. I like theme parks in general. I'm not a roller coaster person, really, but I do like theme parks.
I haven't gone to a theme park in a really long time because in this economy,
In this
they're
economy.
mostly childhood memories for me, but fond ones. I live vicariously through YouTube videos about them, even though I don't visit them any longer.
Yep. 100%. I think I said this on one of the more recent Argonauts, but I follow a lot of like theme park vloggers, and I'm like very opinionated kind of in that space, but I haven't actually been to an amusement park since like pre-COVID. But I did go to them growing up. I was a Hershey Park kid because that's like the closest thing near me, which is like, even if you don't like coasters, there's a lot to do there, which is nice. I like them.
The nearest one to me was Michigan's Adventure. 2 parks for the price of 1. Fun.
Damn.
That was their slogan.
Nice.
I'm not a overall theme park person, but I am a Disney World person, and that to me is, that's the theme park I know. I also went there on my honeymoon, and was like an 8-day trip. It fucking slapped. But for like normal, like for what other people for theme parks, Iowa had one called Adventureland, and it had like several of those rides that were like, oh, this is deadly. You should not let people ride this shit. Like one of those big like silos that just spins,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
There was a time that somebody, I believe, got sick on one of those. I've heard this story.
Oh, no.
Only once? Doubt.
Well, if they got sick, and I mean like blah, on the ride, And then somebody went to go wipe their face, and the centrifugal force of the thing hit their nose, and there's a bloody nose, and so that started whipping around.
Oh my god.
Disaster,
Let's
nightmare,
see.
Yeah.
horror.
I am simply hosting today, so I didn't come in with a hot take. But let's see. I think the best thing I can say about theme parks is that my first true theme park experience. Okay, no, I went to one that was like a few hours away from where I grew up, called Silverwood, and that was a good time. But my first like real like theme park experience was when I went to Disney World as part of having won a math competition.
Yo.
Oh my god.
So, like, I felt like I was the coolest 8th grader on the block then.
And you were.
Uh-huh. It was a good time.
It's very much like I know I was also in show choir, and we got to go to Disney to like do a national competition because we made it to that. And there's nothing quite like being in a theme park as a high schooler without oversight, and it's just like chaos.
Yeah.
I also did that because my cousins are like travel agents, and we went to like a convention that they were like doing stuff at in Disney, and they were like, "Hey, all of like the high school age kids, you can like go to like Disney Hollywood Studios for the afternoon." So I grouped up with like two random other high schoolers who I'd never met before, and we watched Muppet Vision 3D 4 times in a row.
Muppet Vision
Nice.
fucking rules. Muppet Vision's a classic.
Muppet Vision is awesome.
Oh, that's really what I had. I just had this kind of like let's establish a theme park baseline here before going into the wider scale ideas. That's what fucking I got here. That's what I bring to the table.
All right. So let me introduce the format that we're doing today, because we are not doing simply valid and bogus takes today. We're going to try something new. We'll see whether it works, but I think it's a fun idea where we are going to try to have the hottest takes without getting too hot. Here, I put together a little slide just explaining the idea. We do have our guest host Gumi back, but they have been sent specifically 2 slides. They will not be causing issues with the voting this time.
They're unmiked.
They think they're on mic, but they're muted, so it's all good.
Sort of a Mad Catz controller not plugged in.
Exactly,
scenario.
exactly. Anyway, this is pretty simple. Each parliamentarian will present their argument for whatever the opinion they feel they need to share to the rest of the world about theme parks. Everyone else is going to rate the heat of their take. We're going to do it on a 0 to 3 scale, from lukewarm to scorching. And the hottest take wins. So I will add up everyone's ratings. Let's see, I will have everyone else do a rating, and also I will have chat vote, and the winning vote there will be that, so there will be 4 total. When we have the joint presentation, I will also rate it, just so that we have 4 votes every time.
Now, does the hottest take win, or?
Well, you don't want to burn out. So if you end up too close to scorching, I believe you end up at a total of 10 or higher, if we add up the scores, then you will burn out and be out of contention. So it's very much a push your luck sort of situation.
You've taked too close to the sun.
Exactly.
Discoricorous.
Yeah.
Discoricorous.
So you're
Just
shooting
keep
for
trying. Just keep going.
You're shooting for a piping hot pizza. You don't want to hit the ghost pepper.
Right.
Or you could Price is Right $1 it and just give a take that everyone agrees with and assume that everyone else is going to go too hot. So yeah.
Oh, it's Dark Pit.
Pretty straightforward.
Dark Pit.
I might as well show this. I've built a little results meter to come back to at the end.
Awesome. Perfect. Beautiful.
Any questions or anything we want to clarify before we get started?
How will Claudia and I be judged? Because we are doing a joint presentation.
We are going to be judging your presentation, so you share the same fate. And to keep the same number of votes, I will include my own vote on that one, just so that we have 4 votes every time. Does that sound fair?
Do we think that Claudia and I are judged separately? Because maybe people agree with the point, but dislike me. and they don't agree.
Are you going jointly or are you going
All right.
separately? This you got to
So-
draw a line in the sand. No half measures.
We're the
It'd be
Parliament.
really
We're here
funny
to
to see the
debate
same
things and make
presentation
decisions
twice.
together. So let me share my take, but then if other people disagree, we can argue this out. I feel like you two decided you wanted to do a joint presentation. That means that you're agreeing to share the same fate.
Yeah.
You're
You're
both
already
putting
in
your
the
name
three-legged
on the
potato
same
sack.
slides, you know?
I think that's fair.
Yep.
If you have a strong argument for wanting to be judged separately, I'm happy to take that.
No, I don't.
All right, your fates are sealed together. I hope you both feel good about that.
You are holding hands and jumping into hell together.
Exactly.
As we should.
And there's a certain amount of
No.
pride to end up at the fiery pits of Mount Doom. You know, it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse.
All right,
I've
so...
always wanted to go out like Gollum.
exactly. So, who do we have presenting first?
I offered to go first if nobody else wanted to, so I guess that I am.
I could
going
as well
first.
if you want me to go.
Sure. Yeah. Go for it.
Cool.
All
Let me-
right, so Wheels
Let
is
me assume
presenting
the position.
first.
I'm gonna. Because people that are taller are considered more charismatic. I'm gonna stand up and therefore
Perfect.
effectively doubling my charisma.
Oh my god.
Before we get
Lord.
started, what were the 5 point names again?
We have lukewarm, which is 0 points, toasty, which is 1 point, piping hot, which is 2 points, and it's kind of the sweet spot you're shooting for, and scorching, which is 3 points.
Heard.
And I think when we do scoring, I will ask everyone to give their scores simultaneously, just so that
think that's
people's
good.
scores aren't influenced by
Cool.
each other. So you don't know,
Okay.
like, whether you'd be the person pushing them over the edge. Unless we want to go one by one.
Sounds perfect to me.
No,
That's
I like
yeah,
it.
I think that makes sense.
So, alright, so Wheels, I will give you the floor to give your presentation. Then we'll take a few minutes for questions and follow-ups, and give chat some time to put in some votes. And
Yeah, can you share the presentation of the Discord so I can see what slide we're on?
They
to?
are.
is it?
Follow.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
Watch.
Oh,
oops.
okay, good. It's
Oops.
working? Yes, we're good.
Oops.
Okay.
Alright. Let me unveil the slide cover on the Twitch. There we go. The floor is yours, Wheels.
My hot take is that if a theme park ride can't traumatize you, it isn't worth riding. What do I mean by this? I think that a theme park experience is you are opting in to being overwhelmed in a selective, controlled environment. You know, I'm a person who has noise canceling headphones on like all the time, and yet, as we talked about before, I do like theme parks, which you would think that I wouldn't. But in a controlled environment on the right day, you kind of want to be overwhelmed to some degree. And I think that implies a little bit of a risk that if you went on that same ride on the wrong day, it's going to hit you wrong, and it might be a little too much. And I think that that element of risk to your psyche is a key component of a good theme park ride. Let's go to the next slide. I have one and only one exhibit. That's Journey to Atlantis in SeaWorld Orlando. Have any of y'all been on this or any of the other Journey to Atlantis SeaWorld rides?
I have not.
Anybody?
but
I've seen
I'm
a video of
fascinated.
it. I'm aware.
All right, cool. Let's go to the next slide then. So the ride starts pretty simply. It's like a boat dark ride. You hop into this little boat, you go sailing through, and it's kind of hard to see with that screenshot on the right side, but there's kind of like a bioluminescent display of like, fake flora and fauna painted, glowing colors. Very pretty, very cool dark ride experience of just like a number of very pretty Atlantis or undersea themed sequences until, as you can see from the bottom left screenshot, the entire thing goes dark pretty suddenly when you make a turn. And let's go to the next slide, please. Out of the darkness come two piercing green eyes and hideous laughter. Because this is not a fun boat dark ride. This is a roller coaster. Oops. Because when the strobe light hits, which you'll see on the next slide, you see the owner of those eyes is a horrifying Medusa animatronic. I don't think I need to say anything. That's terrifying. At which point, that is the last thing you see before you are sent down it becomes the roller coaster section, and you're sent hurtling through, and it does alternate between like water sections and more roller coastery sections. My recollection of it is that there were squirt guns that onlookers could pay, like put quarters in to spray you while you're on the ride, although I've looked at video of the ride and that wasn't there, so I bet it's been taken out. But after you've been turned to stone by the Medusa, your aunt does get to spray you with water right at the end. Well, not right at the end, because then you do the whole roller coaster bit. I did find a beautiful image online that I wanted to show with you, and that's the next slide here. I think it shows the full spectrum of human experience. You can see the man who takes up the center of the frame is clearly on a journey. He is feeling something that he has never felt. He was turned to stone but saved by this roller coaster, I guess. But the child next to him is being traumatized. You cannot have one without the other. Of course, that is a picture of me, and that is my dad right next to me.
I thought that was you, because I was going to say, oh, this kid has noise-canceling headphones, too.
Yeah. So the story there is that I didn't want to go. I saw it, and I thought, nah, I don't think so. But it was one of those, well, your mom has to wait in line to get food or use the restroom or something, and the rest of them are going on the ride, so you have to go on the ride. It'll be fine. It's just a it's SeaWorld. How bad could it be? And it turns out it could be that bad. However, I still think it's a really good ride. I went back and I watched the video, and I apparently now, as with many rides, the animatronics are not necessarily even there. So, like, the horror element of the Medusa right before you fall is just absent, and they just keep the lights on. And I think that element of the Medusa right before the drop is, like, key to what makes the ride good. It connects the themed dark ride section to the thrill section, kind of a cohesive way. And if it doesn't have that terrifying moment, it's not the same. So that's my main thesis. Let's just hit the next slide, just so that you can just compare. Between these two faces is the full spectrum of human emotion. And granted, I think my dad was
doing your dad's pose in that. Like, he's like, it's like such a fucking.
He's absolutely I would say Yahoo motherfucker. So he probably is saying Yahoo.
I see why you defend the Bia from the political speeches.
Yeah. The Dean scream. No, I could don't get me started on the Howard Dean scream. Anyway, just wanted an excuse to show that picture. I think there's a yin and a yang to it. If it can't push you over the edge, it also can't bring you to the heights that an amusement ride can. So next slide, and that's it. I do have a second anecdote if we're short, or if we need to fill more time later. I've got a second theme park anecdote I can do. Thank you, everyone.
If you'd like to share your second anecdote, please go ahead, or we can save that for the end.
I leave that up to you. Second anecdote.
Sure. So
I would love to get questions in before the timer runs out on the poll.
Oh yes, true. Yes. All right, the floor is open for questions for Wheels.
And then after the questions, second anecdote.
Yes.
Wheels.
Yeah.
So I love your energy. I love where you're coming from for this. This makes sense. So your immediate thesis at the top was, if it can't traumatize you, it's not worth riding.
Mm-hmm.
do you believe in just a good time with no bad?
Like in life?
Well, I mean, in rides too, but in the grand scheme.
All experience is nuance, Riley. There's no such thing as perfection.
I see. Okay.
There's always some yang in the yin and vice versa.
That
So
sounds
no,
like
the
someone who
answer is
can't have a
no.
good fucking time, I'll tell you that.
I have a very small question, which is, are
Yeah.
you sure that the squirt guns was part of the ride when you went, and that your aunt didn't just smuggle in a squirt gun
Sure.
for that one moment?
My recollection of them, and I said aunt as just a goof. I don't think any of my family members actually did pay for it.
Okay, so
But
some bystander just decided, you know what, I'm gonna bring in a squirt gun, have the time of my life.
my recollection of it is that it was similar to like you put quarters in and look through like binoculars at like a park or whatever. It was like built into the ground. It like swiveled on a pillar, so it was not something that could be removed, and it was built into the structure. So that would preclude any errant ants from bringing in super soakers from outside of the park, I think.
I feel like
I've
there
seen
was,
other
like, a
parks
time...
that do that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like they were really popular for like a really short amount of time, and then they like most of the parks just like got rid of them.
I'm looking at the thought process here, right? Of the like all experience is nuanced. You're the park must you what I want to ask you is in the grander theme park scale, do you think the park should also kind of maintain that if it can't traumatize you, it ain't worth doing? Or do you think that's only contained to the rides? And what are and
Oh,
follow up
do you mean like should walking around like
Mhm.
should
Mhm.
going to get myself a bag of popcorn at the stand, should it have a man that jumps out of the bag and
Yeah,
tells
yeah,
me
yeah, yeah,
horrible
yeah.
secrets? No, I don't think that. I think the take was if it can't traumatize you, it isn't worth riding, right? Like
Mhm.
if we're talking about a ride that you're gonna go on, I think a good ride is one that provides a specific overwhelming experience. And I think any specific overwhelming experience, if you come at it on the wrong day in the wrong attitude, it's gonna be overwhelming in a bad way. So but you need some sort of overwhelming experience for it to be worth going on a ride anyway.
Okay. Okay.
Just rides, not general attractions.
Marn, Claudia, thoughts?
I I have no questions. I'm just like thinking about this from the perspective as a child who was like very easily scared by every ride. And I don't necessarily know if I agree from that perspective, but I think that like I agree that a good ride needs some kind of like element of thrill and excitement.
I think my opinion is very similar to Martin's. Also, I did look up a video of the ride while the Medusa was in there.
Oh, cool.
As a 30-year-old woman, seeing
Oh
this
no.
seeing this video, like, not on the ride right now, I'm like, okay, the Medusa isn't that scary, but I know as a as like an 8-year-old,
As a
I
small
would have
wheels.
cried.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
as a
Yeah.
small wheels, as we all once were, I would have cried.
As a training
So
wheel.
I went on the Tower of Terror
yeah,
like again like 3 years ago, and I cried and screamed and didn't want to, and
Oh,
like begged to
I
not
couldn't
go
do
on.
that.
Had a full breakdown and like cried in the outside for a while. So I heavily disagree with this take.
I was scared. I was scared of the Winnie the Pooh ride as a kid. I went
the
on
Winnie the
once and
Pooh
I was
ride
like,
is fucking
absolutely
freaky.
not. Fuck that shit. I don't want to go back to Tigger's Nightmare Dimension.
So when I was like 10, I went to Walt Disney World with my family, and my dad and I rode the Rock and Roller Coaster, and I was fine for like 90% of the queue, and then when you get to like the fucking loading zone that's
Yeah.
themed as like a sketchy ass back alley,
Oh
and you're seeing
no.
people launch into the distance at 60
They
miles
go
an hour,
so
it freaked
fast.
me out. It goes
Which,
so fast. And
Which Aerosmith jam did you get?
I didn't even process any of the music at that time. I did end up going on, but I came incredibly close to crying when, like, as we were getting on, like, if I didn't actually cry. And then I went back to there as a 23-year-old woman on my honeymoon, and I was like, okay, I remember this actually being a lot of fun once I got on. And I got back into that fucking sketchy ass back alley. I was feeling the exact same fucking panic. And actually, it was worse that time. So I think I agree in theory, but in principle, it is not fantastic. I think I cried once I got off the ride out of relief.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are there any final questions or comments before we give our votes? Let's see. First of all, does anyone want clarification on like what the different heat levels mean? We should probably establish that.
I think right now we need to establish what a hot take is, if it's whether or not we agree with it or not, and what the levels are. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
because a hot take doesn't mean you agree with it. Doesn't mean you disagree with it. It just means that's a fucking. You are saying that.
That's Scorcher. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like
I guess we don't
hot
want
take is a take that like legitimately like makes you angry or you truly do not understand how the person makes their argument. I feel like piping
will cause
hot
harm.
is like frustrating, but like you can kind of see what they're saying. Something as toasty is like, I disagree, but I understand your points. Like you're making your arguments. I can imagine how someone would believe this. And then lukewarm would be something that you mostly agree with. I also think you can agree with a take and rate it higher if you think that it is, something that would push buttons.
All right. I'm ready to give judgment.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's all give our judgments. Let's see. As long as you don't... Is everyone locked in on what they want to say?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Okay, Riley, how are you going to rate Wheels' take that traumatizing rides are good?
I thought we were doing them all at the same time.
Yes, we're doing it all at the same time.
Oh, yeah,
Are
okay.
we just
yeah.
saying them simultaneously?
Or
I
just
feel
hold
like
up
that
a
would be
number
hard
of
to parse.
fingers? Hold up a number of fingers?
Yeah, just hold up a number of fingers. Perfect, that'll work. So from 0 to 3.
Okay.
On
You're
3,
gonna give us a countdown? Oh.
2, 1, go. All right.
I don't have the stream up. How'd I do, y'all?
We have 2 Scorchers and 1 Piping Hot.
Okay, that's probably okay. That probably evens out.
And then we also have from chat, what was the result of that?
The result of that, I'll get it pulled up. I believe it was toasty.
Toasty.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, so I think on average, I'm
yeah,
betting
so you
pretty
average
high.
out.
Okay,
I think
all
you
right.
might have just hit the sweet spot, Wheels, because that is
Nice.
that's a 9 right there. Right below the edge. That is impossible to beat. You can only be tied.
Have
Based on
fun,
the
y'all.
arbitrary level that I put it at. Well, we'll see. We can recalibrate at the end if we need to, but yeah.
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Wheels, can you regale us with
Yes,
the second?
tell
Oh,
us
your
your
anecdote
second.
too. Yeah.
Well, I guess.
So
Let's see. Is Molly
fast-
going next? Just to check.
Yeah, sure, I can go next.
All right.
I want to hear Wheels'
Yes, just so I can get stuff set up while Wheels shares her second traumatizing experience.
Thank you. Fast forward to, I don't know, 6 or 7 years later, however long it took my family to financially recover from going to Orlando the last time. I was at Universal Studios. I probably, I would have been double digits age-wise at this point, low double digits. So they're going to have to try to get me. And at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure, there's a very well-regarded Spider-Man dark ride. You wear 3D goggles, and it does it's a dark ride kind of simulator motion thing. I found it just too much. The 3D kind of made me sick, and I had to and so I kind of had to take the goggles off, and at that point, it's just very strange because it's like, you're watching a 3D movie without the goggles on. But there's a point where I think the conceit is that you're sent as correspondence of the Daily Bugle, like trying to capture photos of a fight between Spider-Man and Scorpion or whatever. And at one part of and you're in this like special journalists train, and at one point like the thing shuts down, and there's like an announcer that's like, error, fatal shutdown or whatever. But the troubling thing is that the ride actually did break down when I was
no.
on it shortly after that point, and the reality break there of having to get, and I was like, but that was fake. That wasn't real when they said there was a fatal error with the machine. But now you're telling me I have to get off? Is the ride still going? Is Scorpion gonna get me? So, like, Green Goblin, if you're out there, I'm still watching.
Oh my god, I got stuck on the Haunted Mansion the last time I was at Disney.
Ooh. Like,
yeah.
stuck? How long did it take you to get off?
I mean, it wasn't like they had to evacuate us. They just fucking like let us sit there for 10 minutes. While
Yeah,
they
I
got
mean, you're
us
in
going
the
again.
dark. What's it fucking matter? You're not like
Yeah.
on like one of the outside tracks.
That day at Disney, I got stuck on 3 rides. There was like something cursed happening to me. I got stuck on Thunder Mountain Railroad, Haunted Mansion, and the Little Mermaid ride.
I have never gotten stuck on a ride, like ever, in general.
My wife and I got stuck on 3 different points of the People Mover on the same ride.
Oh my god.
The People Mover's not even like a ride.
Yeah, I think at one point somebody stood up and that's why it got stuck at one point. Like they actually stopped the ride.
Holy
Is that what
shit.
happened, sweetie? When the People
I
Mover?
was not the one who was riding, so I have no idea.
All right, DID got us there.
I also want to point out from the chat, we have Flarglepuff sharing that Rock and Roller Coaster was also traumatic for them. They were a 12 child, went on it, were completely
yeah.
silent until 10 steps after leaving, where they just completely broke down.
Oh.
So in Wheels'
didn't
world, the
realize-
perfect roller coaster.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Let's go. I like
Realize
that
the
ride. That's a
Aerosmith
good
roller
ride.
coaster was out here traumatizing people.
All right.
You wrote like we gotta get something. Someone's gotta come out here.
Uh-huh.
Are we
They
ready?
found me.
Are we ready for our next contender?
I'm ready.
Okay. Marn, I am going to pass the floor to you.
Hell yeah. Hello everyone, you know me. You know that I'm a noted fan of the Super Mario Bros. Series. I'm here to talk about how bad the Mario Kart ride is. It's really bad. I'm here to not only convince you that it's bad, but how they could have done it better and why Nintendo should let me do it.
Are you an
Slide,
engineer?
please. So, for people who don't know, Super Nintendo World is basically a theme park extension that they slapped onto Universal Japan and are like slapping onto the US Universal parks. I think it's only in California right now. Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge is the centerpiece ride of Super Nintendo World. It takes place inside Bowser's castle. You go in. It's a like 4D AR dark ride experience where you have like goggles on to like see the other like carts flying around. It has like buttons on the wheel of the cart that let you shoot items, and you like collect coins and item boxes, and you race against Team Bowser for the Mario Kart Cup. Now, with this context, slide please. Wait, this sounds fun. Why is it bad? I was once like you. I thought, holy shit, there's no way they can fuck up a Mario Kart ride. This is the coolest thing in the world. I was like following along with the patents that were coming out of like the cars that they were gonna use. I think that
Marn
Super
is
Nintendo...
reading the patents.
The
Yeah,
patents.
I've been reading the ones for the Donkey Kong ride. They look super cool. Everybody go look it up. It sounds like a really hard idea to fuck up, basically. Especially if you're making it the centerpiece ride of your miniature park. Slide. The ride is trying to do too much. It's a 4D ride with AR animations, which means there's a lot of visual noise. You can see in the screen cap, this is what it looks like when you have the goggles on. There's not only animatronics and screens in the actual dark ride, but there are NPCs and like items and other carts flying around constantly. It's also a race against other riders on another track. They send 2 carts through at once, they go on simultaneous tracks, and you are racing them to the end. It's also a shooter ride. You earn points for throwing shells at the other carts that you see through the AR goggles. It is also a dark ride with moving parts and animatronics. It is also not one single very important thing. Slide. It's literally not fast. How did they make a slow Mario Kart ride? I don't get it. This is an actual image that they use to advertise the ride. You would look at this and think, wow, this seems like a fast go-kart racing ride. Slide. What? How? The vehicles of the Mario Kart ride are on a track. It is a standard dark ride with a track. It has projection mapping that projects lights onto the vehicle and give you the illusion of going fast. So, like, there is a part where you are on Rainbow Road and they are just projecting Rainbow Road on the floor and on your car scrolling very fast to make it seem like you're going fast. And, like, there are screens to either side of you where you see the track going by really fast. I wish to God I knew why this was their solution instead of making it fast for real. My answer that I have come up with in the course of thinking of like rotating this in my mind and making this PowerPoint is that Nintendo was trying to adapt too much of Mario Kart at once into one ride. They were like, oh, well, we have to have the racing element, so there has to be 2 cars on 2 tracks, and we have to have the element of, like, you're looking at other carts and throwing items at them, and, like, we have to have the element of, like, you're going through all of these different environments and, like, seeing all this cool things. And so, for whatever reason, speed and, like, the actual experience of playing Mario Kart, which is primarily to me about speed, fell to the bottom of the list. Slide, please. It's also weird for business. Nintendo World's only 2 rides are slow-paced dark rides. There's a Yoshi ride for children, and there's the Mario Kart ride. They will have a roller coaster once the Donkey Kong Minecart coaster finishes construction, but that won't be till 2024 in Japan and 2025 in America. Especially for American parks, this is very weird, and especially for Universal. For contrast, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter opened with 2 roller coasters and 1 dark ride. There are 2 coasters were reskinned from other Universal coasters, which they wouldn't have been able to do for Nintendo World since they were basically building everything from scratch. But it's very weird that they did 2 slow-paced dark rides, and no other rides to like be a draw to the park. I have to assume it's because the big selling point that they've been kind of trying to sell Nintendo World on is like the like AR stuff where you like have a watch and you can like interface with all the little puzzles and stuff. It's weird. I don't understand it. Slide. I could fix her. Here's my idea to fix the Mario Kart ride. Part 1. Get rid of all the AR bullshit, you don't need it. There's too much visual noise. It makes the ride, like, way too overstimulating, overwhelming, especially if you, like me, are a person who already wears glasses. I hate any rides that use AR. That honestly could have been my hot take. I would literally... You will see more of this on the second slide. I would split it into 2 rides. The first ride, literally just make a dueling coaster situation. I think they should make a dueling coaster with go-kart cars, theme it around Rainbow Road, you get the movie tie-in that way, and then you let the riders in the queue build their carts together and like decide on like basic cosmetics of the cars and like how fast they want their thing to go or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't even have to physically change anything about the ride. It's just like a cool thing to do in the queue. Yes, like Test Track, exactly. Slide please. Part 2. Make the slower item toss game its own game for the children. Literally make a baby park ride. Or any scenic Mario Kart track that would work well as a dark ride. There's options. You have like Coconut Mall, you have like Peach's Castle, you have Baby Park. Like, who cares? Split that off, make it its own ride for children. People go apeshit bananas for stuff like the Buzz Lightyear ride where you have like targets and you shoot them. So easy. Slide, please. In conclusion, Nintendo, please hire me. Your ride is bad. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, Marn. We now open the floor to questions, comments, and concerns.
I just Googled. I wanted to see what like the queue was for this ride. Have you seen
The
it?
queue is yeah, it's cute.
It's
like
very
you go
cool.
through you go through like Bowser's Castle and you see all the race paraphernalia and stuff. It's cool.
Yeah, there's like it's very stylized. It looks awesome. They've got like hidden screens and shit. It looks absolutely great. Like that is a very cool queue. My question to you, Marn.
Mm-hmm.
How would you avoid the pitfalls of Nintendo being a children's property, so they want to make all rides available to the children?
So I think that is a false dichotomy because having seen what they're doing with the Donkey Kong coaster, like that is obviously a more intense coaster, like designed for like slightly more mature children and adults. Like they're basically building a minecart ride where like you will like ramp off of the track at certain points, or like it will give you the illusion of doing that. And I think there's precedent with like other for children aspects of the Universal parks. Like obviously they have the Harry Potter land, and that has roller coasters and like more intense rides that aren't for children. Like I think Universal is like the place where they could pull that off because it's specifically like not like Disney where a lot of it is like geared towards being more kid friendly. And I think they should simply just do it. Like I don't think that there's a lot for adults in Nintendo World right now, and I think that like they might sort of increase their longevity and like the willingness of people to like stick around in that area if they worked on that.
Can I make a counterpoint with regards to the Harry Potter comparison?
Yeah.
I do not think that in the 2020s or even in the late 2010s that Harry Potter is a children's property anymore. That's our generation. I don't think even the Zoomers really know about really Harry Potter people, and Lord knows that Generation Alpha probably isn't. I think that's mostly just for like 30-year-olds now.
Well, that is true. I'm just thinking about like when it opened in the early 2010s. Like I was in high school, and like
That was the right time.
Yeah, like our generation was high school, middle school, and like that is who it was for.
I don't even feel it was middle school at that point.
See, I will share from chat,
concede.
just from Miss Stellar, that the kids yearn for the speed, treachery, and violence of 200cc Mario Kart. So we've got some support in chat from Marn's take.
Silly question, but my brain is just stuck on it. In the ride as it currently stands, what do the coins do? Can I spend them? Do they get me on a leaderboard?
Yeah, so they actually have a point system, and it like tallies up your points and tells you at the end of the ride like there is like a leaderboard, and it tells you if you won.
That shit would get me, to be honest. I'd be like, yo, I'm on the leaderboard.
What is the like? How many people can sit in a cart?
4.
4? And are you all steering it together, or is it?
No, so I think you all get like a little trigger that like shoots items, but it's like 2 people face forward and 2 people face backwards.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because that's a problem that like Disney's Smuggler's Run runs into. Is you're all piloting the Falcon. There are 6 of you in there, and some of them are strangers. 2 pilots, 2 gunners, and 2 engineers. And so like if you don't, you might not get a chance to pilot, which is the cool shit. And then you either go up and down or left and right. You that is spread across 2 people, which makes a very fun ride. But it does mean that like a kid can fucking shit stain the entire thing.
Yeah, I feel like the experience of sitting on like the backwards facing part of this ride would not be as good.
Sounds very
Oh,
boring.
Yeah.
Is it trackless or is it on a track?
No, it's on track.
Okay.
You could see the track if you watch a video of it, like it's there.
I believe that if you get hit by a shell, your cart should spin.
I agree. There is like one predestined point where that happens, but it is the same on every ride.
Mm-hmm.
Marn, in your world where you're designing this ride, how would you implement the blue shell?
I think again like that would have to go in like the slower like item shooter version of it. And I think perhaps literally it would just stop that person's car for a limited amount of time. Because that's the funniest option.
I'm looking at a video now, and I was not prepared for just how slow
Yes.
this actually looks.
It is so hard to convey like how like it is so much slower than you think it is.
This is astonishing, to be honest.
As-
Oh wow, look at how slowly that cart spins.
It's crazy. It is
As a
going
final-
like normal dark ride pace. Like imagine any like
Oh,
shitty
shut
like
up,
haunted
yeah.
house ride you've ever been on. Like that is the pace it's going.
Yeah, Red Seraph asks, is this slower than walking speed?
Yes,
you could
absolutely.
you could almost certainly walk faster than the cars.
That
Wow.
implies the existence of like Mario fast walking. I'm very interested.
I feel like that's in like the Mario and Sonic Olympics 2018 or whatever.
This is my question to you, Marn. Do you think this is actually a hot take, or is it just actually bad?
I think this is a hot take because people really fucking love Super Nintendo World, and like all of the press about it is like really positive, and I have literally only ever seen people be excited about this ride, and I watched a video of it like as soon as the park opened. I was like, this is disappointing, I don't get it. And I've like never seen anyone be less than excited about it, and I have felt like an insane person about it.
Fair.
Okay. Anyway.
Is it vote time?
Just about. Yeah, I was just waiting for the poll to time out. There's like maybe 30 seconds left there, but we can take our votes
Oh, cool.
now. Anyone in chat who wants to get your votes in, now's your chance to do so in the poll before it closes. Any final questions or comments before we give our votes?
No.
All right,
No.
hearing none. All right, I will. Is everyone decided on how you are voting? From 0 to 3, from lukewarm to scorching.
Confident.
Okay, then I'm going to ask you to put up the correct number of fingers in 3, 2, 1, go. A 0, a 0, and a 2. Is that correct? Am I seeing your cameras right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh
All
wait,
right.
it's 0
Yeah,
to
I
3.
didn't actually
Yeah.
know that it was 0 to 3 last time. I was voting for like the second to middle one for wheels.
Oh.
Well, okay. So that you know what? It's still 2. Who cares? That's what I'm doing. 2. I did it. I'm sticking with it. I mean, I was going to rate it low until you got to the slide about make it baby park, because I think that inherently like increases the spiciness of the take, where you're like, it's not just bad, it's for babies.
It is for babies.
So yeah, it's spicy.
All right. So that's a total. Chat has voted that it is toasty. So that's a score of 1. So altogether, that's a sum total of 3. So Marn is comfortably in the toasty zone, I would say.
Right.
So fair play to you, Marn. I think sharing a toasty take here
yeah.
is perfectly valid. We're not here to all play to win. We're here to share our hot takes. And if other people agree with you, that just means that you're right. And that's what we want, right?
Right. Yeah.
Listen, it is like one of the few current theme park things that like makes me the most mad. I was yelling about it in the car yesterday because I was thinking about it and it made me upset.
I'll say I did like the hot take that you shared in the Discord here that the Saw ride should kill you for realism.
Yeah,
Well-
I joked that my hot take was the Saw ride should actually kill you.
unless you can win, unless you play the game.
Yeah.
I've never seen Saw. I don't know if anybody wins.
Yes.
I just think a game implies the winner.
Several people do win.
Okay, there you go.
EB,
Yes.
I know what you're doing right now is to talk later,
Yes.
but seeing the words that I have in front of me right now have instilled in me a rage.
Here.
A rage enough that I would like to bring
I
my
realized
wheels
I did have a
down
hot
from 3
take that I was just
to
prepping a
2.
single slide for to do right before we wrap. If you want to do this before we go into the dual presentation, I can just share this right now.
No. I had a reaction.
I definitely forgot that you all in the Discord call could see what I was doing.
Gotta say, they're right and they should say it.
Yeah.
We'll get there when we get there.
All right. Okay. All right. Line us up.
All right.
Us up.
Here we go. Okay. So, Riley and Claudia, you are presenting together, yes?
Yes. We
All
count
right.
as a small gang.
You count as a small
Yes.
gang.
God.
Oh, so without any further ado,
Hello and welcome everybody to our wonderful presentation. Here we're going to present to you one thing and one thing only. If you aren't Disney parks, is this on the
Do
screen?
you even?
yes, this is on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you aren't Disney parks, you even fucking matter.
Also, sidebar, Goofy is huge. I know he only looks this big on TV, but in real life, Goofy could beat up Dad.
Oh, just briefly, we have a very important cameo on Wheels' cam.
Sorry, I didn't mean. My cat is just like stealing the show here. I'll get him away. He's too close to the camera. He's looking like a Zoomer meme right now.
All right, as we were.
Now, I wanted to present those two pictures of me and Claudia at our respective honeymoons in Disney World. I am going to take this
back
moment.
real quick. Sorry.
No, they soaked it in. They got it. I just want to take a moment to head this off at the top of our joint presentation. A thing that we both feel so strongly about that, we wanted to present it. All theme parks are monuments to corporate greed, to people cutting costs to make something faster, cool, and at the end of the day, more dangerous. There is no theme park that is free of the awful way it treats its workers and the people who work there. Disney is a mega corporation that is slowly melting away all culture. But you gotta hand it to him, that rat fuck makes a hell of a theme park.
Disney
And
may
when
have
I
ruined my life for like 4 years while I worked at a movie theater, but I still went on my honeymoon to Disney while working at that movie theater.
And when we say theme park, we don't just mean a ride, a single ride at the theme park. We talked about Adventureland, Six Flags, shit like that. Now that's not a theme park, is it, Claudia?
No.
Because what's the theme?
Coasters?
Nothing. Slide.
Well, there we go.
First, we're going to talk about theming and mise en scène. So, Disney has a pretty strict dedication and rigidity towards sightlines, and it slaps. So when you are in a specific park, you are there. You are not... When you are in the Paris section of Epcot, my god, you are in France at that moment. When you are in Tomorrowland, you are in 2550 or whatever hell year they're saying it is there now, that it's past the year 2000. You are there.
Yes.
Nowhere else. Other parks do not have that. On the left, I have a video from I have a screenshot from a video of the Simpsons world in, I believe this one is in Hollywood, in Orlando or Universal Studios. And oh, what's that in the background just past the Quickie Mart? I don't remember the Simpsons having any gigantic castles.
Mm-hmm.
And ooh, in Mario Land here, who's that? Is that the Comcast NBC Universal building? I don't remember Mario working there.
I guess he does. I guess they're not plumbers anymore. I guess they're TV board members.
Who knew? Slide. Look at this pogged
Ooh.
up sight line.
Ooh.
So this is the view from the Morocco section, or somewhere where the Morocco section of Epcot is visible. But you can see the Tower of Terror from this sight line, because Disney MGM Studios is, it's not MGM anymore. Disney Hollywood Studios is right next to Epcot, basically.
Mm.
But they're thinking about where you can see these buildings and how you can see them. So they specifically colored the Tower of Terror building so that it blends in with the Morocco skyline.
Yes.
Right?
It makes it look
cool is
deeper,
this?
better there.
Exactly. Slide.
Now, just to address Claudia's points before we start this one, there's also a wonderful park in the Magic Kingdom where, like, you're in Fantasyland and you can see Rapunzel's tower up in the distance, and it's just perspective. I know that's basic shit, but perspective and utilizing that is beautiful. It's fucking great. Now, I know what you're saying here. We've heard this response throughout the conversation today, but the rides aren't as cool. If you're going to a theme park for only the rides, it showcases how you've never been to a theme park that has gone all into one theme. You're going from ride to ride, going through your little pop culture town in Universal. Great. You're in SeaWorld. The fish are there. Cool. A theme park is more than the roller coasters. It is how each part of the park connects to the next. It is the experience of being transported. You are there as a unit to go not just to the park. You are in another world. You are experiencing joy in a unique fucking entertainment experience that takes you out from your boring ass normal life, and suddenly you are tiny and you are in the Toy Story world. Simple as that. The rides do rule also. Like this, not only does this point not make sense on the theme park level, it doesn't make sense on the ride level specifically. Even small scale dark room rides play well because you are immersed in the feeling of joy that comes from being at the most magical place on earth. Even sitting on the Pooh Bear ride hits because you're in Fantasyland because you just saw Pooh Bear walking the fuck around. You even being on the Pirates of the Caribbean dark ride hits because they've done so much to build you into it. You're walking forward, you've got the animatronics, they've got the music going, the cues are built in. Every part of the ride is important. The rides are the only reason to go. If you're saying that, it's the equivalent of watching a Marvel movie because the fight scenes are cool. It means you have less than an opinion. It is a pathetic stance. Slide. Oh, I fucked this up.
Well, fuck it up. That's okay.
Hit play. But the lines are long, I hear you say.
Skill issue.
But the parks are confusing.
Skill issue.
But I don't know where the events are.
Skill issue.
But I don't want to do homework to go on vacation.
That's a skill issue.
Slide. If you plan your trip, if you put in the work to figure out what rides you want to hit, if you build a structured plan, you can have a packed day at Disney and still have room to audible out and switch. Pictured is a photo of my spreadsheet when I went to Disney World. This is Thursday only. We have scheduled out the day, we've used our dining plan shit, and we have prepared. You'll see everything beautifully laid out. You'll see the rides we've prepped for weeks, months in advance to get the Fast Pass for. We hit every ride we wanted to in the Hollywood studios, and it was a day from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m.
And you feel good about this?
I feel amazing about this. If you're not taking advantage of extra magic hours, Fast Pass, Disney Dining Plan, and the app itself, you're going to have a bad time, and that's on you, and that is a...
Skill issue.
Slide.
Listen, Goofy can beat up Dad, but at least he is not creepy. Disney does mascots so well. Nobody does mascots like Disney. I know not everyone likes mascot costumes. Some people inherently think that they are creepy, but they are friendly and huggable. They are well designed. But I know what you're saying. How bad could other parks' mascots be? Slide.
Oh
On
no!
the left, we have the Nick Hotel, which features Nickelodeon characters, including Angelica here. Please note her vacant stare that stares upwards for some reason. Her weird tiny hands. The fact that she looks vaguely fuzzy for some reason. On the right, we have the Simpsons family from Universal Studios. Again, the vacant stares, the clay look of them. They look hard to the touch, but yet their arms and hands and things look like they are made of felt. What is going on? I don't understand. Bart's pants look half made of felt and half made of plastic. What is going on, Bart?
Can you imagine trying to hug one of these fuckers?
I cannot. Is Maggie physically attached to Marge? That seems like a problem.
Is there a baby in that suit? We don't know.
We will never know. Slide.
Disney, while being a shit company, makes the best theme parks bar none. There are 1,000 boring places with roller coasters, but there's only one motherfucking Disney World. I think that's the end. Yeah.
All right. Is that your last slide?
I believe so.
That's
Okay.
it.
Thank you very much. I want to bring up immediately a question from chat. Ms. Steller has pointed out that, let me find the exact quote here.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Go for it. Read it, Marn.
No, I agree with them, and I have pulled up the actual thing about it. What is your, Riley and Claudia, responses to the fact that FastPass statistically makes wait times actually worse, and they got rid of it?
It does if you suck. If you're bad at it, that's a skill issue.
No, it actually statistically based on theme park modeling software favors hardcore attendees, Riley, and makes wait times worse, and the systems inevitably always spiral out of control, and that's why Disney retired it.
Totally, yeah.
First of all, you can say defunct land.
Yeah, we know where you're talking from. We know where you're getting this stuff. Now, I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're getting at. That is true that it does, make it worse for schmucks who can't do the pre-work. But if you do the pre-work, you can do everything.
That's not true. FastPass doesn't exist anymore. You can't do anything.
Genie Plus and Genie Plus, I believe is what it's currently filed under, has ways to make it work in a similar way that can play out correctly. But specifically here, where I'm talking about the qualities of FastPass, in this tight section that I'm working, fucking rules. It ruled great, and it was taken out because people couldn't take the heat. Just like sometimes they nerf your favorite weapon in an online game.
Riley, Awful World could ask Riley, are you saying that being poor is a skill issue?
No, because that was said in chat and not in the voice.
You
brought up a very good point that it favors people with more money. That is true, and that is a fucking bummer. I don't have a comeback for that. That's just fucking true. It was retired for a fucking reason. That was not brought up over the voice chat, so my comment did not attach to that.
What would you say to the allegations that in recent years, Disney has become lax on some of the very things that you point out as their strong suits? Like if you look at some of the newer parks that they've built, like the sight lines aren't necessarily on point, that like a lot of the newer attractions are just, kind of IP cash grabs more than they are unique themed attractions that take advantage of the the fact that you're there. They're just trying to take advantage of your knowledge of a Marvel character or a Star Wars or that sort of thing. What would you say that to the criticism in later years, Disney hasn't made anything good?
I think your point about it being an IP cash grab is not relevant whatsoever because it is goddamn Disney World.
You're at the IP relevant.
You're in IP cash land world.
You went there.
It is true that the Guardians of the Galaxy reskin of Tower of Terror ruined the sightline that you were literally talking about.
Yeah.
That
That
only
is
happened
true.
in Disneyland, not Disney World. Thanks for coming.
Exactly. In
Oh,
fact,
wow.
that's not really a problem because, you can't see Morocco from California
Now,
as
and
much
here's
as I would
further.
like to.
You said Disney hasn't made any good parks or rides in a while, and I know exactly how I'm about to sound, but I'm gonna say it. Obviously, I don't care about Avatar, but Avatar Flight of Passage fucking fucks. That ride's amazing. It is incredible. The scenes as you're walking into it are great. I don't give a shit about the world of Avatar, but you get on basically a
It's called
motorcycle.
Pandora.
Yeah, thank you. You get on a motorcycle, like basically, but it's the back of one of those big flying motherfuckers. And they've made the ride so you feel it breathe underneath you. You are put in front of a giant screen that does legit make you feel like you are flying one of these things. We did that ride twice. It was incredible. It was amazing. It was outstanding. I, I, I to say that they haven't done anything good recently, A, means you're probably looking at Disneyland, and B, means that you haven't tried the rides for the IPs that you fucking hate.
Riley,
I
question
cannot
from
comment
chat.
on the quality of that ride. That ride opened one day after my spouse and I left from our honeymoon.
Oh
I'm
no.
sorry. I'm
We
sorry.
specifically timed it around that.
Riley, Claudia, we're getting some comments from chat. Are you sure that you want to be supporting Disney World over Disneyland when
Please
Florida
scroll
is in
back to
fact
slide 2 or 3, PB. Slide 2 or 3.
I believe it's 2.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The
I
elephant
just
in the
wanted to
room quality
read the quote that
applies.
Florida is an existential threat.
But Disneyland or Disney is like
They are
speaking more against Florida's bullshit.
That's true. That is true.
They are. Florida is like legitimately like, and it's one of those like let the girls fight. I hope Disney kills Ron DeSantis. But like,
Oh, I was just gonna say we are careening towards the point where someone says Ron DeSantis on the street.
but like it's very much like A, that's not what we're talking about, and
Yes.
B, like Disney's fighting that, and that's what slide 2 was for. You know what I
Alright.
mean? We have to make these
Just wanted
presentations
to
somehow.
bring up the concerns
have-
from chat.
I have a question. Do you think that you only have this opinion because you are both very emotionally connected to the Disney parks? Like, what would you say to someone who doesn't really have an emotional connection to Disney World, who who never grew up going there, has never been before, has really no nostalgia for the Disney movies? Like, do you think that they could have a good time there?
Yes.
I think yes.
I think
I-
especially if they go to Epcot. I think that first of all, let me show off my Epcot Flower and Garden Festival 2017 shirt that I'm wearing. The little festivals that they have at Epcot rule. They're
Food
little,
and wine
like,
festival. Food and wine festival is insane.
It does go on.
So do you then not think that it's possible to have that same experience at other theme parks?
I don't think any other theme park is having the food and wine festival where you can eat and drink around the world throughout the day. You are getting food from each of the different countries that exist there. You are getting drinks throughout the day. You get on the Skyliner, you ride your way to Hollywood Studios, and you end your day after watching Blue October play a concert for some reason to getting to Hollywood Studios, where you stroll up and go to the Toy Story Land, get yourself a grilled cheese, hit Slinky Dog Dash, and then why not take the fucking bus over to Epcot, where then you can, or not Epcot, you can take the bus over to Magic Kingdom and hang out there. There's a world of options there that you can do so much more and be immersed in a theme. It is possible to eat at a restaurant. You're right.
I
But-
don't know that that's an emotionally resonant experience. That's just paying too much to go to the state fair.
And that is the voice
The
of somebody who
state
hasn't
fair?
done it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask us to start wrapping up here so we can go into our votes. Do you have any final comments you'd like to share?
I thought that our takes were going to be ice cold. I didn't know that we were getting 4s all around.
This to me
Also-
feels like such a slam dunk of like obviously that I thought we were going to be getting lukewarms.
All right. So, I guess I should ask Riley, Claudia, would you like to be judged together? Are you still happy with that?
Yeah, I mean, we speak in one voice.
We're both right.
That's right there.
This is because Riley certainly does have a certain manner of speaking to incense others.
No, we agreed off the top that we were judged together.
All right.
That's why I
Accomplices.
presented it. I presented that option before I started talking because I knew how this was gonna play.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
All right. I am voting here just so we have equal numbers of votes for everyone. So, is everyone locked in how they are voting?
I think so.
Okay. Then we are going to reveal in 3, 2, 1, go. We have a 3, a 3, and a 2. Right?
I think chat's gonna push us over to
Yeah,
11.
and chat
Yeah.
certainly did overwhelmingly vote scorching with like 60%. So that puts you at a total of 11, which pushes you into the too hot zone.
They're burning up.
You burnt out, I'm afraid.
But you know what? I'm burning up, so I'm gonna go get on Operation Everest, and I'm gonna get a wonderful cone outside, and then go on the water ride.
Yeah,
That's
go
a
say
good
hi to the
ride.
Yeti
Is that the one that
doesn't
used to
work.
have the Yeti?
Yeah.
Operation Everest? Yeah, that ride's sick.
I will not go on that ride because it has strobe lights.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
as
the
it
Yeti
was
that
once said,
doesn't
it's
work
better
that
to...
they didn't want to pay like $1 billion to fix, so they just kept it not working.
It's
Yeah.
so funny.
As was once said, it's better to burn out than to fade away.
All right. So that is
Yeah,
our
I
three
also
presentations
want to
we
take a
had
quick
prepared.
pause just to like reiterate to chat. I obviously know that Florida is very bad right now as a state, and there's literally nothing I can do about that.
They
in my
get it,
thing.
Riley. We don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they get it. They know.
Just want to make sure.
you're a sweetheart, but they get it.
Yeah. It was the low-hanging fruit of ways to poke at your argument. All right. So, we're going to go and see our final results, but I did just put together a single slide to present my own take. I will happily throw myself onto the judgment of the rest of the Parliamoont here. Riley, would you make like a little 2-minute poll?
You don't have to do this. You can run if you want.
No, this is something the rest of you did this. I feel like I should do this too. It's only fair.
Has chat seen the take, or have you not
No,
yet
no,
revealed
they
the
have not
slide?
seen it yet.
This one might be getting me the most boiling.
All right. So, no ride is worth waiting in line longer than 5 minutes. Waiting in line at an amusement park, or anywhere, but especially at an amusement park, is one of the most miserable experiences in anyone's life. At least specifically mine. I don't know. Other people might live different lives. But for me, stepping forward every minute or so, in the heat, because you always go in the summer and it's 95 degrees out and you're just boiling because of course the line that you're in doesn't have good shade. I'm sure that your Disney park rides are all fine there, but that's not most of my experience with amusement parks. It's loud. It is incredibly loud, uncomfortably loud. Unlike Wheels, I don't have the forethought to bring noise canceling headphones or whatever. So that's another miserable part of the experience. And it's just boring. You're supposed to be in one of the most exciting, fun places on Earth, and you end up spending 2/3 of your time standing, basically still, waiting in line for something that's going to last 2 minutes.
I
rest
really
my
like a
case.
themed queue. I like when a queue has it preps you with the story. You go
Yeah.
in and you see Bill Paxton's telling you about what to expect from the Twister ride, and he's telling you what a category 4 tornado is or whatever. I live for that shit. I live for
Exactly.
talking to my friends in a line about oh, have you been on you've been on this before, am I gonna be all right? It's part of the anticipation. It's part of the you're going up the ramp to go down the hill of the roller coaster. It's part
Yes.
of the full ride experience. Now I agree a long wait will ruin a ride, but 5 minutes, that's not where that bright line
No,
should be.
Yeah.
the time for a ride, a queue is 1 hour. 1 hour is the
1
max.
hour?
1 hour?
Yes,
What are you
apparently you
talking
only get
about?
bad queues, which makes sense. But yeah, I'd wait an hour. Absolutely. There's so much to do in a line. There's so much time to take a moment from your
What the fuck are
day.
you talking about? There's so
There's
much to do in a line.
There's so much time to take a moment to connect with the people that you are around, about the fun day and experience you are having, to unpack about the things around you, to soak in the other people in this world. This is the TikTokification of theme parks that you are bringing to me today.
Riley, I
Hell
have never,
no.
ever. Okay, I've watched TikToks, but only on other platforms. I've never, ever even opened the TikTok app. And I am still on the cusp of millennial, so you can't even accuse me of being Gen Z.
I would never.
I can't believe Riley is trying to do what kids these days have no attention span to us because we
Okay.
don't want to stand in line for an hour.
Yeah. Which take is harder?
Anyway,
That
gamers,
you
find
don't
me on
wanna wait
TikTok
for long-
at Singular Wheels.
that you don't want to wait in a 15-minute line, or that waiting in an hour-long line is perfectly good and normal. You know, who's the real normal one here?
I said an hour-long line is the maximum limit.
Okay,
I'd
fair enough.
I'd bring it down to
disagree.
45, and I'm there.
Yeah,
20.
45 minutes.
I think 30.
Yeah, I'll give you 30. I mean, like, but for me, it's like if there's a new ride and like everybody's in line for it, I'll wait a 45. You know what I mean? Like, if
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
big deal.
The idea of the line is an available. It's like time to connect to the people around you. You have so much time and ability to connect to the people around you. Walking around the park, getting to the park, leaving the park, eating at the park. Why do you need
At
the
home
experience of
after the
standing in line?
vacation.
Exactly. Like
I'm right.
What are you talking? Wait, and let me tell you about the themed queue thing. You still get the experience of the theming while you are walking through the queue to immediately get onto the line.
Yeah.
You
Like,
marinate
The
for
theme
an
queue
hour,
is
or do
great
you
if you
marinate
sit and you
overnight?
do the
Oh
activity
yeah,
or
let me
whatever
marinate
once.
for an hour standing in the same like 10 square foot area.
Yeah,
Wow,
if I'm
wow.
watching Chris
Like-
Pratt explain the fantasy of the ride, 15 times in a row, that's gonna lose some of the magic.
But
Exactly,
is Chris
the
Pratt
Buzz
Mario or
Lightyear
is
one.
Chris pratt Star-Lord? It matters.
We need to cut this stream.
Yeah, all right. Let's.
Cut their mic. Cut their mic.
I'm running the stream. You can't cut my mic. All right. Let's get votes in here.
Night of Niels, I would never say speak to strangers. I would never say that.
Oh, let's see. Also, this will be the wrong number of votes, including the chat vote, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I already know where I'm going here. So, everyone, show
I'm
your
ready.
vote from 0 to 3 in 3, 2, 1, go. We got a 3, we got a
That's a
2, we got a
spicy
2, we
one.
got a 3. So,
I'm holding up.
It's hard to
4.
judge because I agree with it, but like it is spicy.
yes,
Yeah.
and chat is also given, I believe, I don't know, the winning option was the third one, which I think you meant to be piping hot.
Yeah.
All right, so that's 2 more points. So it put me at a total of 12 with an extra vote, but I'm okay with that. I am perfectly happy to accept my fate. I didn't put myself on the scale, so I'm just gonna. Sorry, Gumi, it's on you.
Gooey, no.
Let's get a rousing anthem of Wheels are the champions.
We can't do that. We'll run out. We'll get copyright struck.
All right, so yeah, congrats.
Only
to
if you
Wheels for
sing
having
well.
the-
Hey, put Goomy above me. Put Goomy above me. Goomy got a higher score than me.
Well, also from an extra number of votes, but okay, fine. Yeah, Gumi's a good sport. It'll be fine. All right. I also hope that you appreciate that I put you above Claudia there on the scale.
I do. That was the
Yeah.
right move.
That's
All
that's
right.
worth it, yeah.
So just to recap, Marn's opinion that the Mario Kart ride is bad actually, and that she could make it better, I think most people agree with that. Wheels,
I'm gonna use this as my video resume for when I tell them
Perfect.
to hire me.
Wheels coming out with the idea that the best rides are the traumatizing ones, or in fact, non-traumatizing rides aren't worth riding. It's definitely a hot take. A hot take that would get the perfect amount of Twitter engagement without any death threats.
I think that's actually a perfect way to view this. Is how much
good
Twitter, how much
heuristic.
engagement on Twitter or Blue Sky would this get without the
But
level of just
without
becoming
getting-
too hot?
Yes,
Without
exactly.
getting ratioed, yeah.
Yeah,
I would-
exactly.
I would be canceled. You could
Yes.
never
I,
see me.
I need you to understand that my take would blow up the theme park ride YouTuber community in a way heretofore unseen.
I will download this VOD and then send it to Mr. Defunctland.
Can't
Alright,
be
yep.
watching.
And then Riley, Claudia, and myself, represented by Gumi, are all hanging out in Christian hell with all the Pokemon who died in Champs in the Making for our crimes of defending Disney and complaining about waiting too long for rides. So that's
Thank
been
you,
on
Jack.
Parliamoont. That I don't think I have anything left. Congratulations to Wheels, and thank you everyone for joining me today.
Do we know what the next Parliament is? I think we do, don't we?
We don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that it's going to be fast food hot takes.
Oh, okay.
Or
'Cause
fast
I
food
thought maybe
tier list, I think.
Or yeah, it'll be
I
fast
thought-
food tier list.
okay.
Fast food tier list.
I wasn't sure if we were actually doing the trial.
A trial will happen at some point, so I don't know. But also, like, I'm letting other people organize the next couple Parliaments.
Hell yeah.
So it's either
Thank
going to
you
be a
for
fast food
organizing
tier
so
list
many
or
of
it's
them.
going to be a
Thankfully, like-
trial of. Let's see. We had 3 different people up as options. We had the trial of Judas Iscariot. We had the trial of. Shoot.
Logan from Gilmore
Yes,
Girls.
Logan from
Gilmore
Gilmore
Girls.
Girls. There was. Oh yes, and the trial of Chuck E. Cheese.
Charles
Entertainment
Entertainment
Cheese.
Cheese.
You're right. Sorry, Charles Entertainment Cheese. I am so sorry, Mr. Cheese. Please don't send your wet work squad after me.
Please call me Chuck. Mr. Cheese was my father.
All right. So yeah, thanks to everyone in chat for coming out, for sharing your votes, for participating. You made the stream a lot of fun. Any closing thoughts from anyone?
Thanks, PB.
Oh, also, do y'all want to like plug your stuff?
Nah, they know where to find me.
All right. Yeah, you know where to find us. We're all on the Moonshot Network. And actually, I'll be back streaming tomorrow night doing some more Kaizo and cocktails if you want to see me die repeatedly with Mario and make a cursed drink.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. I also
Yeah.
think on
Awesome.
Tuesday we might have Jay coming back with some licensed games.
Yes. Longest licensed voyage.
Let's see. On Wednesdays we have our Art with Sasha streams. Those have been good chill streams. If you just want to hang out, watch Sasha do some drawing. There's Tactics Thursdays.
We might just play Fortnite again. I'm not lying to you.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, we usually don't have anything on Fridays. Do we have anything on Saturdays normally?
Mm-mm.
And then there's the Sunday
Although-
sleepover, which actually that'll be tonight, right?
Yeah.
I should have said that first, yeah.
Also, we haven't announced it yet, but Wednesday the 26th, we are doing another murder mystery. So come out. It'll be fun.
I need to start knitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking cut it. Let's
All right,
go. Let's
yeah.
walk.
Thanks, y'all.